Damps came from me mispronouncing the word daps, giving props, yeah. And I basically found out that damps isn't daps. I was looking for a word when I was starting this to kind of mean nothing. I didn't want it to mean anything because I wanted the work to speak for itself. So I had to find a word that meant nothing, and damps came back, and I was like, okay, damps means nothing, let's roll with damps. Simple, it was like a quick process. I started playing in LaSalle, the Boys and Girls Club. That was like when I was 15. So I went through that. I went to Dawson. I actually had my first real experience of adversity in sports. When I got cut from the AAA team, and I was playing the year before, so it's like never a good look, you know? So that was my first step. I had to get over that. I had an ACL tear in AA, so I had to get over going down a level and then getting injured, and then recovering and not being on any radar. I had to go try out for university, did university, but by the time I got to university, I was kind of invested into other things that wasn't basketball. So it was like, towards the end, I was tired of basketball. But it was a great experience, and I learned so much about it. So much about myself playing basketball. Yes, it influenced my company because without it, I wouldn't be able to get through day-to-day stuff. So like when I'm having bad days, I had bad days with basketball. So like when I got cut, I remember that was the worst feeling ever. And I went home and you're just alone. And like it doesn't really matter what anybody says, you kind of like, it sinks into you, you know? It was like, how did this happen? And now what's my purpose? Why am I even in school? Why would I play like basketball anymore? You know, like I'm not good enough. So it's like when you come back to business world and you're taking steps to being a better, or progressing your business and making it better and evolving it, every day you're gonna face times where people tell you, yo, you can't do that, or don't do that. Nobody agreed with me trying to do this, you know? And when I first started, it didn't look good. It was in my bedroom, down the street, dim light. It didn't look proper, right? So it was just hustling, and you realize that like there's a pulse to this, you know, and it's gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down. And through basketball, I learned that there's a pulse for life, you know? It's not just that, and it's not just like what people see on Instagram. There's ups and downs, and you're gonna live through it, right? If you don't live through it, then you're gonna crash. You're gonna crash regardless. Does my competitive nature from basketball motivate me to do business? Simple. It's like if I don't get up and grind every opportunity I have, and I don't like take the opportunity to go back and assess what I'm doing and like be honest of how good I am and where I need to get better, like practice. Like sports is all about practice, right? So just going back and looking at the drawing board and being like I'm weak here, I need to pick this up, you know? There's a gap in the industry here. Let me add this to my business. All that stuff kind of helps you elevate yourself, and I don't really see it as competing as much. I look at it as an art. So like people are gonna appreciate it for what it is and hate it for what it is. But there's always a competitive nature, you know, like just in terms of making yourself a better, just that barber, you know, a better marketer, experiencing more things. You have to try things, right? And you have to take shots. It always comes down to like how many shots you're gonna take. If you shoot 10 shots and you miss 10, but you have the game winner at the end, you make the last one, then you know you're a winner, right? So that's all that really matters, is the last shot that you took. Competing does give me an advantage over people in my industry, just because I've learned that if you don't take enough shots, you won't see the ball going enough times, you know? So you just have to keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing, and the worst thing that can happen is you fail. And a fail is an experience. And hopefully you can learn from that experience. If you don't, then I know eventually I'll figure out what I did wrong, right? So I don't know what other people in my industry have went through, but for me, it's just like, it's translated 100%. Like I've kind of just flowed right into business from basketball. Honestly, it was just the team. It was like everybody just vibing together and kind of feeling like you're a part of something, you know, because yeah, otherwise it's like I couldn't imagine school or anything else. It's just pretty like lonely. I had my period where my ACL was gone. I wasn't chilling with anybody. And it was just a lot of by myself, you know? And that experience of being by myself helped me be by myself when I was starting this and I had nobody around me. And as I make decisions now and I have nobody to really kind of help me make decisions. As much as I do have a great team, like sometimes you just have to say yes or no to certain things, right? So, okay, so educating yourself through school versus educating yourself through life. I feel like the purpose of everything that we're doing and the reason we're playing basketball is we're stimulating something in our bodies, you know, in our brains. And the feeling the passion that you feel towards the game is something that you should feel everywhere. Anything that you do, you should feel that. And the perfect example is when you don't want to practice your dribbling because you're a great shooter, but you know next year you're gonna have to dribble the ball more. And so for the love of basketball, you're gonna go practice that. And I don't think you should ever be doing something that you don't want to be doing unless you understand the benefits of it towards your journey of success. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I always kind of feel now that I have to invest to get better. Like, and the best ways to get better are to educate yourself. There's no other way really. And I don't know, it costs money, but like it pays back. It pays the best interest and it helps you grow. So you don't have to go to university, but there's plenty of people you can learn from. There's plenty of institutions you can learn from. It just matters what you want to learn at the time. That's it, you know? If you don't want to go to a university and learn, it's okay, but you should always be trying to learn something, because I don't know if life really makes sense if you're not trying to get better, you know, if you're trying to add something to what you already have. Okay, the dopest player I feel like I played against, I remember because his footwork was on point, was he played at Champlain. No, Jason Roddy's nice. Adam was nice too. No, it's Kelvin. Yeah, he was crazy because he was pump faking for a reason. I played against Tyler Ennis and it was like very similar, but I found Kelvin better than Tyler Ennis even. Yeah, it's just because he knew what he was doing and he wasn't jab stepping or he wasn't wasting dribbles. He was just doing everything for a reason and was like mad efficient with everything. The best player I ever played with, I played with a lot of people. I guess, yeah, Jiggy was good. Yeah, just because of his leadership. Like, I remember that team, we were all like super young. And like, he believed more than I even think our head coach believed, you know? So it was like, he was balling, got everybody involved, he got his buckets. And now he's like coaching, like it kind of translated, right? So yeah, I would say like off the top right now, I can't really think of anybody else. There's a lot of great people I played with, but he's really good. Well, now I understand what sacrifice is more, you know? So like when I come to work, I understand that like what I'm sacrificing in time. It's not like really, you're always looking at money as a measuring stick, but at the same time, you realize like time is very, very like precious, bro, and it's not coming back, super scarce. And then the other thing I've come to learn from this whole family situation, which I never thought I never really felt before, is like 100% trust. So like in my wife, like I can, like when you have kids, you want them to be like taken care of, you know, when you're not there. And as much as you're not there, you want to trust that whoever is like looking over them is somebody that loves them and will care for them. And it's just trust. It's like the most important part of relationships, but the level of trust that me and my wife have for each other is like another level, and I trust that my kids will benefit like tremendously off of all that. So trust and, what did I say? Trust. Trust. That was patience, bro. Like I wanted to quit after like before the first semester of school finished, bro. I was tired of it. I was getting banged up, injured. And it just, like there was other guys on the team that wanted to quit. So I remember at the beginning when times were good for me and I was making shots, it was like, yo guys, don't quit, it's blessed, you know? Like everything's going good. But as soon as stuff like started hitting the fan for me, I destroyed my wrist, so I couldn't shoot anymore, and that was all I was good for. I had to learn how to play defense, I had to learn how to rebound, I had to learn how to just take criticism even if I thought it was the wrong criticism. And I had to just like take out the tone of everybody's voice and just take in what they're telling me and just really assess myself and be patient with my growth. Because I kind of sensed at the beginning that I was like, you know what, I've lost my passion for being a part of this bigger organization, and I kind of want to do my own thing. But like quitting midway through a season or quitting before I feel like I've closed the chapter to that was not the way to like take the next step into the future. So I kind of persevered through that. That was like really rough times. Like I would go to games, I get mad because I was playing time. I get mad because I didn't play good when I had playing time. So it was, and I was going back. I go back with my roommate, bro, and I can't talk to anybody because nobody really understands what I'm going through, even though there's other people going through the same thing as me on the team. So I learned to be patient. We wrote a lot of stuff down. Like that kind of helped me. I wrote like my goals on Post-its, put it on my mirror where I cut hair. And I had big plans, but it was just like, it's step by step, right? It's not like, it wasn't like tomorrow I'm gonna close this chapter and open up this chapter. I was gonna close the chapter to basketball the proper way. I knew it would be mad disrespectful if I just left the game and quit on my teammates, quit on myself. I knew that wasn't the right way to go. So I was like, yo, let me just leave on my terms. And then when I leave on my terms, that's why when I was so easy for me to leave school, because a lot of times I was only in school because of basketball. Otherwise, I kind of sensed that school, like the programs I was in marketing, it wasn't where my head was at, you know? It wasn't stimulating me enough. So I was just like, okay, I can leave this easy now, you know? I'm able to retire from this and open up a new chapter into my next life. And that's a lot of things people, I feel like, I want to tell the kids this. When you graduate, when you move up a level, when you finish a level, when you retire, when you're 65, it's not like it's done. It doesn't mean it's done. It means you're starting something new. It's not, so like, keep that framework in your head that you're closing one door, but you're opening up another one by closing that one, you know? And you can take everything that you've experienced and put it into that new world that you're in, because everything is essentially the same thing. It's just your outlook and perspective on it and how much you're willing to push yourself. Yeah, 25/8 comes from, for me, okay, so simply it's like more than 24/7, but to me it's like giving something life, birthing something that you kind of love. So 100%. You closed one door, you opened up a new one, and you made it your life, you know? And I think we should all be living life. We shouldn't be worried about, a 9 to 5 can be a life, but if you're gonna look at it like a 9 to 5, then it's not a life, you know? And it's just gonna rip a chunk out of your day, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna be happy with where you're at. You just have to love what you're doing all the time. Ball is life, hoops on the rise. We're thinking about getting better, you know? We're practicing, we thought about getting better. And you have to keep doing that, bro. Like when you stop playing basketball, when you stop going to school, how are you gonna get better? And how are you gonna want to make yourself better? Like you can't be handing in assignments late all the time, you know? It has to be like, you have to wanna write these assignments. And that's why like I emphasize just stimulate yourself. Don't quit on yourself, and be patient with your goals, you know, because they will, if you believe in them, they will happen. So what it is quitting's a word. It's like, that's all it is. So even, you know what's weird is when I said I'm not playing anymore, and that was at the end of the season, bro. I quit on properly, I would say. I stopped playing properly. My teammates still said I quit. I was like, bro, I dragged out the whole season. I didn't want to play for the past 3 months, and I kept my head in the game. I tried to put out the best attitude I could possibly put out. And it's not like you feel it, bro. It's not like one day you wake up and you're like, I'm quitting my job just because, you know, it's like you feel it. When you feel like it's time to leave, figure out how you're gonna leave so you don't burn the bridge, because burning bridges is the absolute, like, it's unnecessary. You don't need to like not talk to anybody ever again. You know, you should have a choice. You should be able to go back to people and be like, listen, I left on good terms. Like, let's talk about this. You know, if you want to talk about business or something. So it's like, just listen to what your intuition is telling you, what your body's telling you. Bro, if you're going to practice and you hate it, just finish it. You're learning lessons by finishing the season. Because life is a season too, you know, this is all like little seasons. You're playing basketball season, you're playing end of school season, and you're trying to finish it out. If you quit before it's done, then it's a bad habit that you're developing. So you can quit or you can retire, just do it on your own terms, you know, and don't, if you're a part of a team, don't disrespect your team. Because remember, like, when stuff is up, you're happy, you know, but like when stuff goes down, like you're not, just understand the emotional change, bro. It's not, and it's the same thing with business. It translates over. It's like, it's gonna be up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you started off your season like this, you're guaranteed to get an injury, bro. You're gonna have an injury and you're gonna have to come back from that injury. It's not the time to quit. That's different, right? So it's like understanding when you've had enough, and then laying or drawing out the blueprint to how you're going to leave on a good note to start something new. Got it. So ball is life, but when ball is done, to ball is life. Okay, so you got to make sure, and ball means passion for us. Everybody who's like hoops on the rise, all of us, basketball is passion. So it's important that you remember that what drove you about ball, the passion that you had for it, the energy from that can be put into other things. And really at the end of the day, life is about creating life. And it's not about creating little tasks that you don't want to do. You should feel the love that you felt for basketball, it should be felt for everything. And that's what I love about basketball, bro. Is like, it's taught me so much, but it's also taught me to love my life. Okay, so it's just taught me to love my life. So like, I was picky and stay picky, you know, because you love basketball and you should love the next thing that you do. So just stay picky, stay hungry. It's the same stuff your coaches, the videos you've been watching, all the motivation that you feel towards this game, it doesn't change. When you leave basketball, it's the same thing for other stuff. You're just starting over again. And when you start over again, remember when you first picked up a basketball and started dribbling and the ball wouldn't come back to the same hand that you dribbled it with? Understand that that's going to be the same thing with cutting hair. I butchered people when I first started. I butchered people. When I started in here, this place did not look like this, and I was going to cry, bro. It looked like disgusting, you know? And now we're gonna move on, you know, and whatever we move on to, we're gonna share the same love for it. So that's essentially it. Just love what you do. It's very simple, but take everything that you've learned from basketball when you leave basketball and make sure that the energy that you felt for basketball is flushed in the new direction that you're going in. That's it. Hoops on the rise. Understand that ball is life, but there's life after ball, okay?